Radioactiva 97.9, en donde, como ven, seguimos desde casa, pero los estamos acompañando y trayéndoles buenos invitados para que ustedes los conozcan un poquito más. Hoy tenemos una invitada tremenda, una de esas grandes figuras femeninas que tiene el rock y que sin duda alguna nos ha acompañado con cada uno de sus álbumes y sus canciones. Ella es Amy Lee, la cantante de Evanescence, que como ven también está desde casa y pues vamos a hablar un poquito también de esos nuevos sonidos y de cómo ha vivido este 2020. Entonces, sin más preámbulo, Amy Lee, hi! It's a huge pleasure for us having you here on Radioactiva 97.9. How are you? How's everything been going? I know 2020 seems like it will last forever, but for example, here in Colombia, we've been locked down for almost 6 months. But how's everything going for you?
I'm doing well. It's been, it's hard to sum up the year. It's just been so much. I feel like a million years have gone by. You're right. It is going too slow. Um, but I'm proud that we've been able to, make music that we love and keep going during this time. I think that the key is to just find a new way. When you're in a situation that you can't control, you just have to find a new way to be who you are. And we changed our plans so many times, like throughout this year as we've been making and releasing new music. And I think that actually in itself has felt really good to feel able to feel not like we're only able to do things in one way. We shot music videos ourselves. We took buses and COVID tests and created a bubble so that, some of us could get together while some of us worked remotely, and have just been doing whatever we could to push forward. And the spirit behind that, the will and determination and the love for what we do, it's really coming through in the sound of the music to me. There's an urgency in it. So I'm
Just
I'm happy. I'm good. I'm doing good, and we're healthy.
It's great. It really is, and I know some fans are really happy hearing to those words. First of all, let's talk about Use My Voice. What an unbelievable song. It's amazing. The video is really powerful. And it's a kind of call for everybody, no? Nobody can talk for you. You need to use your own voice. And you've got to be proud for that song. Tell us about Use My Voice, please.
I am very proud of that song. It's one of those ones that as a writer, like I'm so satisfied to see it finished because it took a long time to make. Just to get the writing down. I had the verses for a long time. I started that song 2 years ago, and just couldn't figure out the next part. And I just kept pulling it out and trying and going, that's not it, and putting it away, working on something else. And then, finally had a breakthrough after calling on a friend, my friend Dina, who's also in a rock band. She came over. We like to listen to each other's music sometimes and give each other feedback. And she just totally cracked it open for me and helped me write the melody of the chorus, and just, I don't know, poured like the love and confidence into it that I needed to take it all the way. And I think that her doing that with me is part of the inspiration for having all those other women sing on the track with us. Just the feeling of unity and support, and strong women standing together. And it's not just about women, but that in itself, like the feeling of the power of there being many of us in the rock world, in itself is something that feels very powerful to me to hear. And I got to sing my vocals after we had that layer in there, and I got to feel and hear that power of my friends and my sisters standing beside me in that moment. So making that song was really special. And I definitely feel the meaning of the song coming through in a way that is so important right now in our country and in the world. We have to stand up and speak up for ourselves and be many, and fight for our freedom. We really do. This is a revolutionary time in the world. And I believe in the power of hope and love and people coming together across all kinds of differences in order to make things better. I really do. As depressing as you may or may not think my music is, I'm a very hopeful person for the future. And I believe that we can do better than what we're doing now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because also look at these names, no? Lizzie Hale, Taylor Momsen, Sharon Donato, Lindsay Sterling, your sisters. I repeat, the message and the song are really powerful. It sounds great, but the most important thing is that it encourages people to go and vote, to act for their country. And besides a clear statement, it's a kind of way of supporting people, not only in the United States, but do you realize it encourages people around the world in different cities, in diverse countries, to accept that message?
Yes. We're I'm seeing things all the time. It's we are one thing. We are one human race. And we all have to be strong and fight for the same things. We have to speak from our own hearts. Obviously, everybody wants and believes different things, but that's the point. We should be able to. Everybody needs to be able to be themselves without without that being some kind of betrayal to what we're allowed to do. We should be allowed to be ourselves, and we should be respectful and accepting of each other. We have to be able to accept each other's differences to work together, I think. And I know that is a world issue.
Yeah, sure, and I think that your music has the power to unite, no, to make people stand together, to get together for a common purpose or common purposes, and that's the beauty in Evanescence's music, no, that the lyrics are always speaking out, telling things raw in their way they're meant to be told and heard. So I want to ask you this: is it personally for you difficult to use your voice and try to draw personal experiences or common experiences and always try to give that message to people?
Yes, it is. I let my lyrics be my private diary. And that started a long time ago when I was a little kid. And I say that in reality, I was like 13, 14 when I was first writing stuff, for this band. Um, and from a young age, it's like there were things that they're too hard to say, but in a poem, in a song, in a piece of art, in some other form of expression, somehow it felt safer and it felt allowed. And it just has become for me a place in my life where I can be completely free and completely honest, um, and completely raw without real fear of like exposing something or hurting someone. Even when I'm talking about really personal things about people that I love, it's hard to explain, but it is hard to do. I talk about it as a free play, it's no problem, but at the same time, I mean, it is hard. I have to get it out and go, okay, I guess I'm saying this here. Okay, here we go, buckle up. But then, I actually think sometimes the harder part is doing an interview and somebody says, what's this song about? And it's about like the most personal thing. And I have to find a way to explain it in a way that I'm comfortable beyond the lyrics.
It's amazing, and it's amazing because I know nobody or almost nobody feels comfortable showing their private stuff now, and you've got to do this through your own music. So it's amazing, it's really powerful, it's almost like a gift for us, for every person that listens to your songs. But we can also forget about Wasted on You, which was your first single from this new album. I love the song, but the video is such a beauty. Every band member shot their takes or their scenes on their iPhones at home. How was this experience for you? I know that being locked down or on isolation is a new thing for almost every person on earth, but how was it for you to record this video?
It felt really good to be able to find a way through that when we just didn't know what to do. Like, it had to have a video. We wanted it to have a video so badly, but we couldn't be together. And I didn't want to just do iPhone performances. I wanted to be something more because it's not as big of a deal probably for some people who are used to showing their private lives on social media a lot. I'm not one of those people. I've always kept my home and my family like really private, and don't usually let anybody in the way that we did in our video. And so what I was thinking and what really came true, for all of us, is that, you know, normally we're able to give a huge production. Like, that's part of what Evanescence is this big storyline production, like massive music video with a lot of visual makeup and costumes and all that. And I love that. beautiful and still part of us. But knowing that we couldn't do that, I wanted to still be able to give more in another way. And so we couldn't give all that production, but we could give more by giving our real selves, like taking it straight raw from the heart in our bedrooms, in my dressing gown, like really sharing our personal experience and struggles like through this time. And by doing that, I felt really the connection that I was craving with my band by creating, a video where we are doing the same things but apart, like we're still together. And I felt a sense of togetherness that I was craving, with our fans by sharing with them that way, and then also seeing them doing the same things and going through the same thing. Like I think in that initial first couple of months of the lockdown, everybody was really just kind of scared and lonely. And to be able to reach out, into the universe and grab hands just felt really good. So we are very proud of that video.
And I think that music during these times is such a cool and a necessary gift because cultural expressions are so important and they make us forget all the shit that's happening outside. I read an article a couple of weeks ago. Well, it was really a post in which you said that women get skipped over in rock in many ways. You've been part of this industry, of this music industry, for many years, and I suppose you've experienced a lot of stuff. You're one of the most important female rock figures, and have you seen things improve a little bit for women, or is it just the same context for all these years?
No, I have. I have definitely seen improvement more and more and more. When we go on tour, I'm never the only, I'm rarely the only one anymore. This isn't about women in music because there's always been women in music, but women in rock and in particularly hard rock and rock radio, like that's a rarity. And it's not that I haven't spoken about it before, but I haven't spoken about it much because we've had great success. I'm very grateful for everything that's happened to us. So, naturally, on one hand, it's easier to just keep your head down and go, we made it. Don't bring it up. But that's the more that I've been looking at, the world around us in so many ways with social issues. That's not the way to handle it. Like the way to handle it isn't to just go, okay, sweet, I made it, so everybody else can fend for yourself. We have to support each other and lift each other up. And I think that one way that I could support better is by pointing out, of course there's a struggle, of course there is a bigger challenge being a woman in hard rock. That's not what people expect it to sound like. Now that has changed. And I think that part of the reason that it's changed is because it's changing also from the inside. There are more women engineers. There are more female producers. There are more female front of house mixers. There are more women tour managers. There's more in radio. Women in radio is a big deal. Like the more women and not you're wonderful. I'm not trying to insult you here, but like the more women that we get in radio, the more inspiration there will be to put women on the radio. So as far as women in rock, I'm just talking about women in rock radio. Yeah, I think that it's just important to point out we've been very lucky and I have seen change and I think that that's beautiful and I think we're on our way to somewhere. But I mean, yeah, it's still a challenge. It's always still going to be a challenge, especially in the mainstream because rock isn't mainstream. It's not. So I'm up against it all here. I'm first of all in rock. So it's like, there's this much room for you in the music world. And then beyond that, I'm a woman in rock. So it's like, you got this big of a space.
Amazing.
So I'm going to do my best to dominate that space. Okay.
And you also said that the true heart of rock music is the spirit of rebellion, and I've got to say, women are the real thing. Here in Colombia, for example, one of the most iconic rock stars is a woman. She's Andrea Echeverry from a historic national group called Aterciopelados, and I think uh, what women are doing not only in music but also in politics, in science, it's a huge thing that needs to be recognized during these times. Finally, you've been such an inspiration, Emily, for many people around the world. I want you to imagine this. I listened to your songs when I was at school, during college, now in this grown up life that they call. I don't know if you ever imagined that some kid or a bunch of kids in Colombia were beginning to love rock music because of you and because of your beautiful voice.
I don't know how I can answer that. That is such a beautiful, beautiful thing to say. And it has touched my life. I don't know what I expected when I was a kid. I had dreams of us making it, but I didn't know what that really meant. Um, and now that we've gotten a chance to meet people around the world and see people be touched by the music that we've made, it means so much to me. It's something that gives me fuel and fire when I'm on stage, when I'm writing, when I'm getting ready to go on stage. Knowing how deep it is for people, and how good it is for people, the way it is for me, um, just makes it all more worth it. It just makes me appreciate it that much more. And I can't say that I started out understanding any of that. We just had to experience it and learn it. And through so many people's stories and experiences, um, I've gotten to get a whole new perspective um, on what it means to do what I do. And I'm very grateful.
Well, it's huge for us. It's such an honor to have you here, Emily. We hope to see you very soon. I hope you guys make it to Colombia. You have such a huge fan base here, and there could be a lot of kids that maybe are starting to love rock music, rock and roll, because of you and your new stuff, as it happened
Happened
to
to
me.
I
me.
love it. That's so
Finally,
good. That's beautiful. It's
finally,
been way too long. We're ready to come back whenever it's possible. We're there.
Yeah, and we are waiting for you with our heart full of love and with our arms really, really wide open. Amy Lee, thank you very much for being here with us. It's Radioactiva 97.9. Gracias a todos ustedes. Será Amy Lee, la cantante de Evanescence, acá para todos en Radioactiva 97.9.